All right, everyone, what's the story? Welcome along to Martin's World. I'm your host, Martin Condon. Guys, I want to invite you to check out martinsworld.ie, where you'll find a little store page up there where we have a number of products, all rolling papers at the moment. But by buying these rolling papers, you'll be helping support the cannabis community in Ireland, because the store has been run as a non-profit, and all of the money generated there will be used for hosting and setting up cannabis-themed events across Ireland and Cork. So guys, if you're interested in any of those products, as I said last week in my video, our payment processor Stripe refused to process our payments because we sell drug-related paraphernalia. Yeah, apparently rolling papers are now drug-related paraphernalia. So what you gotta do if you want to buy them, get in touch through Facebook, Instagram, or in an email, and we can arrange delivery and payments and all of that there. Also, keep an eye out. I'll put out another video to announce it when it happens, but we'll set up payment through Bitcoins also. So you'll be able to pay online with Bitcoins, and we'll be able to send the products then to you. So guys, on to my show today. So our show today it was recorded last week. It was an interview as part of the Support Don't Punish. It's an annual global campaign that calls on governments across the world to decriminalise the drug user and to make drug use a health issue and not a criminal issue, and to support the people who have drug addictions and not to punish them. So as part of that day of action, we held a webinar where we also interviewed Anna Quigley and Matthew Southwell. You can find all those interviews up on the Help No Harm Facebook page. But we also interviewed Alicia Maher. Alicia Maher is a woman in her 30s from Mayfield in Cork City. And Alicia, when she was 17, underwent some simple, straightforward surgery to have her tonsils removed. But complications arose after that, where her throat opened up again and she had to go back into hospital. While in hospital, some other complications arose where she had to have her bowel and things removed and her colon removed. And she ended up getting pneumonia and suffering with MRSA, which is a string of events there, really unfortunate and very unlucky. And she ended up suffering with chronic pain as a result of those string of events. That chronic pain meant that Alicia had to take up to 30 painkillers a day, I think that was, and she was taking them every 4 hours across that day. Her life at the time, it was quite poor. Her ability to laugh and to just enjoy and socialise in life with her friends and stuff, it was quite impacted upon. A lot of the times because of the side effects, because of some of those medications, and also because of the lack of effectiveness of those medications. Alicia found cannabis in the form of a cannabis vaporizer that was given to her from a friend that was in the United States. And upon trying that, her pain melted away and her quality of life improved. So Alicia then started using medical cannabis illegally here in Ireland, and she sought to get access to medical cannabis through her GPs and the medical professionals here, but it was fruitless. And it ended up with Alicia having to leave Ireland and move to Alicante, where she now is getting access to cannabis through the cannabis clubs that they have in Alicante, and she's also able to grow her own cannabis plants there. So the following is going to be that interview that was recorded last week, and without further ado now, I'll leave you to that interview with Alicia Maher. Thanks, guys. Okay, everybody, welcome along here today to a special edition of Martin's World. We're partaking in the Support Don't Punish worldwide global campaign here. And our guest today for this is going to be Alicia Maher. And Alicia Maher is a Cork girl from Mayfield and currently living in Tenerife. And unfortunately, Alicia... Oh, Alicante, apologies.
Yeah,
Tenerife came out because of a different conversation earlier today. But you're in Alicante because of, or basically because of our medical cannabis laws here in Ireland. They were too restrictive at first. They wouldn't allow your condition, which was pain related. They don't acknowledge that in the 3 conditions that are currently allowed. But since then, you've actually received the medical cannabis license now, and you're actually better off staying in Alicante because of the system they actually have here, as opposed to coming back and partaking in the system that they're trying to set up here.
Yeah.
So by that, like, I hope you don't mind, but I think you're an Irish medical cannabis refugee. There's no other term. You have to leave your home country because of in search of a better quality of life because of lack of access to a medicine here.
Yeah.
So Alicia, welcome along, and thanks very much for taking part in this Support Don't Punish event. And yeah, if you want to just fill in the gaps there of anything I might have left out. I know you're doing a PhD in Limerick, so how was that? Have you had to stop that because of this whole debacle? Have you had to leave?
No, I've continued working away on it, which is good because I can do it all online.
Brilliant.
But I did at the start when I came over here, I took a couple of months off.
Okay,
But,
yeah.
you know, just while I was getting everything organised and moving everything over. So
Yeah, I'd imagine like it was probably quite an emotional point of your life. Like, I suppose the last thing you want to be worried about is a project for college when you're relocating your whole life basically.
yeah. And we kind of decided it really quickly when I couldn't get the license, because it was actually the third time that my GP applied for the license for me. The first two times he applied on his own without a consultant, because my consultant had just stopped working for the HSE. So I had no consultant, but my GP was happy about it. He said that he'd applied. They refused him twice. So then the second time they refused, they said that he'd have to wait until a consultant signed it, and I had no consultant at the time. So we just said straight away, that's it, we're going to go back to Spain. Because I didn't want to keep buying it on the black market at home.
Of course, yeah. I actually recall the first time I heard your story. You were sharing it with Neil Prendeville on Red FM, and
Yeah.
that was the first time I came across your story. I think I actually called in and joined the conversation later that day, not with yourself, but with Neil on that topic. But
Yeah.
it was not long after then you had the medical cannabis symposium, I think it was, above in Limerick, in the University of Limerick. I'd met you there that day as well.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was really good. There was almost 200 people there.
Yeah, it was very well attended, but of course Simon Harris wasn't there.
No, of course he wasn't. No.
Yeah, but it would have been worth his while to come and meet the people that like his policies are affecting.
I think so. Yeah, definitely.
Because
Yeah.
we had some really good events over the years where we had, again, experts coming in speaking about medical cannabis. One guy, Dr. He was based in the Canaries. His name is eluding me right now, but he was studying cannabis and Alzheimer's, and
Right.
we put the word out there to the Alzheimer's Society and things, and no, there was just too much of a stigma there for these groups to come along to these events and just to learn and partake in the conversation. You know,
Yeah,
just the stigma keeps them out, and then you're a victim because of that. Then,
exactly. Yeah.
so in Alicante, I suppose the situation there is much different to Ireland in how you access cannabis.
Yes.
Could you elaborate a little bit on that, maybe?
Yeah. So when we came here first, we came last year in January because I wasn't able to get any cannabis at home, and we just came over for 3 weeks to see what it was going to be like. So when I came here, I joined a cannabis club. Everything was fine. You could go in, buy as much as you wanted, and you could take it home with you. But when we moved over in November, we didn't know that the situation was after changing, and there was a huge clampdown on the clubs over here. So the first day I went in, I signed up again because it's only 3 months membership at a time. And they gave me the rules, and it said that you can't leave the club with cannabis anymore. You're supposed to use it all while you're in there. So I was like, oh shit, what am I going
Yeah.
to do? But I didn't have a choice. I had to buy it. So they let you buy 3 grams a day and take it away with me. So that was all going well from November until March when the lockdown came, and then
Yeah.
they just shut.
Also, they were affected by the whole COVID thing. They had to close down as well.
Yeah, they had to close down. It wasn't like in America where they were deemed essential.
Hmm.
Everything just shut on the Friday, 14th of March, I think it was. And they
Okay.
didn't open for another 2 weeks. Or they only opened again 2 weeks ago.
They only opened 2 weeks ago, so that's about almost 2.5 months they were shut, I suppose.
Yeah, it was 10 weeks altogether. Yeah.
10 weeks, yeah, that's quite a bit of time, I suppose. Were you affected then by that? Were you left without?
I went into the club that day when we found out that they were shutting that night.
Okay.
And I stocked up. By stocking up, I mean I was only able to get 6 grams because I made Jerry join the club that night as well so that he could get 3 grams
3.
for me.
Yeah.
That was all I had. Then there was another club got in touch with me when they knew that I was living in Spain because I came here to get cannabis for the chronic pain. And they said that they would deliver some up to me. So the next week then they delivered some to me in Alicante. But the week after that, they closed all the roads in and out of where we live.
Yeah.
So I was really stuck then again. So then somebody from at home got in contact with me and they put me in contact with a medical cannabis clinic in Spain. And
Okay.
because I had the license at home and because I didn't have license because I had the prescription, um, they said that they would take me on as a patient, not all the time, just because of the COVID-19 and it was discretionary. So they were able to send it to me then for the rest of the lockdown. So I was really lucky. If it wasn't for the cannabis community at home, I would have been stuck. I would have had nothing like.
Yeah, the cannabis community at the moment, it's actually getting very active online, and yeah,
Yeah,
it is very supportive, especially for the medical patients, because I suppose you're a victim of this war on drugs that's been waged on, like people like myself. I suppose I use cannabis, but not for any chronic medical condition or anything like that. But you're unfairly then punished by that, like, and I think that the community responds then very well to that. Like
yeah,
we've been campaigning here for a long time on the whole medical cannabis front, working with Vera, Yvonne, and many other people over the years. And
yeah,
just like yourself now, like this issue has been brought to the government a lot, and they still haven't turned around and do anything. But meanwhile, just on like what is it, a 2 hour flight, I suppose, to Alicante, 2 hours
yeah.
maybe.
2.5 hours. Yeah,
So hop on a plane 2.5 hours, and you are living a better quality of life just based on your position on the globe.
yeah. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I sent an email the other day to the International Narcotics Control Board.
Yeah,
I sent one to Simon Harris, the Department of Health, the HPRA, and I said to them that while I was in Spain and I had my prescription, I was able to get it dispensed by a medical cannabis clinic, and that I wanted to come home, but because I already had my prescription for cannabis, how could I bring it home with me? The International Narcotics Control Board said that it was up to the people in Ireland. The HSE said it was nothing to do with them. The HPRA said it was nothing to do with them. So I'm waiting on the Department of Health to find out if I can bring the cannabis that I got here, dispensed through my prescription, home with me.
yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous if you can't, because like before cannabis, I was traveling with, I went to, say, America for 3 weeks and I had 1,000 tablets and they were controlled drugs.
But you could travel with those.
Yeah.
'Cause-
So I don't even think I'll be able to, I don't know if I'll be able to bring my cannabis home, but I have a prescription for it and that's all I needed to carry the drugs with me, you know?
yeah, yeah. Well, initially in the States, you weren't allowed to fly around with cannabis, but now you're allowed in states where it's legal. Bring your cannabis to the other states now where it's also legal. So that's definitely a movement in a positive direction. But
Yeah.
yeah, in Ireland, like when you arrive in and you go up you have to go up to the customs. You probably haven't done this yet, but when you have your license, I'd assume you have to present it to the customs and show them what you're bringing in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're looking at it like they don't know what you have. Like that's probably all new to them. Like they're like,
Yeah.
okay. They see Simon Harris's signature, and I suppose that makes it all okay.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's not dispensed. I'm only supposed to have it dispensed from the Transvaal pharmacy in The Hague.
That's right. Yeah, the only is there's them and there is the Canadian dispensaries. Then I think there's like two that are approved. Bedrocan and Tillery are the two that I'm aware of.
Yeah. Yeah. At the moment. Yeah.
So like that's kind of there's a monopoly there really. Like you've got two companies that are in control of a massive industry. Like chronic pain in Ireland, like alone, I think there's over 200,000 people who suffer daily with chronic pain that could benefit from access to better cannabis, better cannabis medicines through regulation.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they're holding her off, like, and there's a bit of a monopoly there, really. And people like myself, I've got an honors degree now in herbal science, and I'd
Yeah.
love to go forward and maybe do a bit of further education, but to be a participant in setting up an industry here of production to cater for people like yourself, because the people out there making the policies now, they don't know cannabis. They just think cannabis is this evil drug,
Yeah.
the wacky backy.
Yeah, they just don't understand it at all. Like, but that's another thing. That's another issue as well with the way that it is at the moment with the ministerial license and having to get it from the Transvaal pharmacy. So I asked for 22% THC cannabis flower. That was the one that I typically get here. So then I went online and I looked at it because I use indica for the pain because I find that the sativas make the nerves worse. But when I went on to Bedrocan's website, they only have 122% THC, and that's sativa. They don't even have an indica at
Yeah.
22%. So I either use a 13% THC indica or 22% sativa. I mean, they're my only options. And what I found here as well, I keep having to swap over the strains after a certain amount of time to get the same effect.
Yeah, because of the
Yeah,
tolerance that's kind of builds up. And
yeah, and they've no idea, like one strain isn't enough
yeah,
for a person. You need options of different strains as well, like.
yeah, it's a very complicated thing, and the people who are making the policies, the policies are only for single compound medicines, and that's all they suit. But
Yeah,
when you're looking at something like cannabis and a herbal extract and a full spectrum cannabis oil, let's say, you've got over 500 compounds inside of there that are all acting and working in different ways. And it's just too complex for our modern medicine industry like to understand. They don't like that. Like they don't like this term of synergy where 1+1 = 3 because
yeah,
they're frightened. Where did that extra one come from? Like they don't like that. They like
yeah,
when 1+1 = 2. It's like, oh yeah, that's easy. And what
yeah,
kills me is the herbalists in Ireland, like they're very quiet. Like
yeah.
these are the people who are probably most knowledgeable about natural products and natural medicines, and they're very quiet.
I don't know any herbalists in Ireland even, so that'll tell you. Yeah,
Yeah, I've met one or two just through my course, and yeah, they were very stigmatic towards cannabis. Like if you tried to talk about cannabis, they were no, let's talk about chamomile, let's
really.
talk about echinacea, or I'm like no, but cannabis is so interesting. Why can't we talk? It's too much stigma, too much kind of like negative connotations with that plant. Like why don't we do these other plants?
It's
Like
crazy.
I actually put a proposal to the FSAI and the HPRA here in Ireland to do my final year project on CBD.
Yeah,
Basically, all of the products that are on the shelves, I wanted to do an off-the-shelf testing of those, and I wanted to do that and contribute that data then to the public body.
yeah,
They wouldn't do it. They said they would only follow up on complaints and do their own investigations. They didn't want to assist in any way really around that, like. And yeah,
yeah,
they were just like, oh, anything to like as soon as cannabis comes up, that barrier just comes up within these guys.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. It was like that when I was going for the license first, and I sent an email to Simon Harris, and I told him that my PhD was in medical cannabis and that I saw the HPRA report and that they excluded chronic pain. But I told him that I had hundreds of articles on chronic pain for cannabis if he wanted
Yeah.
to meet me, that I'd show them all the evidence that was there and stuff. And it was an absolute no, no.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like if you're doing a PhD in it, you'd think they'd like to know what's out there. Like the HPRA report was absolutely shocking.
yeah.
It was so bad, you know. It was done in 3 months, you
Yeah,
know.
but it goes to show the disconnection there between the people, the policymakers, and the people affected by the policies. Like he doesn't want to sit and talk with someone like yourself. You know, like Vera Toomey was very much a thorn in his side that he just wanted to go away. Like every time like I'd say her name comes up, I'd say like his blood pressure would probably go up a little bit. Simon Harris. And
Yeah,
it's very unfortunate because really, like Vera and yourself, you've so much to offer to Simon Harris. If he was to just sit down and listen to what it is how it is that the policies are affecting you currently,
yeah,
but he's just ignorant to it. He just wants to pretend you're not there, or oh, there's the medical cannabis access program, but he doesn't want to talk about that. I'm
yeah,
signing licenses, he's saying, and the medical cannabis access program, and that's
yeah.
his get out of jail free card, really.
He's definitely not signing that many licenses because I did the freedom of information
Yeah.
recently, and there's only 32 patients.
That's right. What
when they
he's
say,
doing is he's re-signing licenses for those patients, and that's what he's referring to when he's saying he's signing licenses. He's
yeah,
re-signing.
he's
So
signing, yeah,
when your license expires and you're renewing it, they're the license. Like that's why he keeps repeating. Oh, I'm signing licenses. I'm signing licenses, but it's for the same
yeah,
patients over and over again. There's yourself, like you only just recently got access to it, but it still doesn't even suit you currently because he hasn't sat down and nobody has actually come and said, how do you use medical cannabis? What
no.
form does it work for you in? Like nobody has asked you this question.
No, no, or like even the products that are available, are they going to work? I only figured it out myself looking through the Bedrocan website after I got the license, and I was thinking, two strains, that's what I have the choice of. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then even the way in which it's produced, I know a little bit around it. It's gamma irradiated to ensure sterility.
yeah,
So they irradiate it because like you suffer with chronic pain, but I don't think your immune system is deprived in any way. Like your immune system is probably okay, is it? Like
no, I have my large intestine taken out as well, so
okay.
that's where your immune system is. So I
Yeah.
have a
Oh,
very
yeah.
low
No,
immune
definitely.
system.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
look, so someone like yourself, you would benefit from, say, a highly pharmaceutical grade medicine like that, where sterility is ensured. But
yeah,
say a person suffering with maybe a bit of insomnia and they wanted to just use a bit of cannabis in the evening, or if they had like a bit of arthritis and they wanted to just alleviate the symptom, the stiffness, they wouldn't need that standard of like sterility. That they would be able to benefit from something like what they have in Spain, where the cannabis is probably just grown in some little, I don't know, in Spain. I know the clubs, they're not really regulated at any level. It's like
yeah.
community run.
That's exactly what it is. They're all
Yeah.
non-profit, community run. But I'd be happy with a system like that at home. You have a choice, different
Yeah,
strains.
but there's definitely an argument there for the need to offer a high quality sterile medicine like that for people who are immune compromised. But I
Yeah,
suppose even the way in which you're consuming cannabis, you're probably, are you burning it or are you vaporizing it, I wonder?
both.
Both, okay. So like when you burn cannabis herb, that's sterilizing it.
Yeah, yeah,
So again, you don't need that level of sterility if that's your method of consumption. And,
yeah,
and and the same as well with the vaporizing, like that has a bit of a sterilizing effect to it also. So like you
yeah,
don't need this level. Like I think Kenny Tynan pays 16,000 a year for his year's prescription, 4,000 every 3 months.
yeah.
And like the government, I don't know how much they're paying for people who are covered, but that's a lot of money for what he says. It's only 20 plants a year would satisfy what he uses,
20,
maybe.
yeah, yeah.
Like that's actually more than what the Gardaí value their plants at, like. And like the
Sorry,
Gardaí,
I didn't hear you there. It just broke up a little bit.
I was saying that's more than what the Gardaí actually value their plants at. The Gardaí value their plants at like 800, but apparently Bedrocan are nearly double to triple that.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's
So
crazy though.
yeah, it just goes to show how much money is really tied up in this and why there's probably such resistance there on the policy makers because of maybe who's lobbying them. Like
That's exactly it. Yeah,
we seen that 150 million cannabis fund there recently.
yeah.
It's, like that money is probably being used for a bit of lobbying in order to make sure that the money keeps going into their pockets.
And the last thing they want is for people like me to be able to grow your own.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
which you were actually, you're growing your own currently in Alicante, yeah?
I am. I have them outside there on the
Brilliant.
balcony. Yeah,
That's amazing. And how is that? That's probably have you grown anything before, like any herbs or plants?
I have,
You have
but
a
not
bit
in
of
the
a garden.
sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they're coming on way better than they did before. It's the sun, but I don't know the first thing about it. All I did was get some soil, some seeds, and throw them out in the balcony. So
Yeah, but before you know it, you're going to have strawberries and lettuce and everything everywhere, like because
I
don't
actually have
forget.
garlic out there as well.
Yeah, you see, cannabis is a gateway drug.
The other plants,
To other plants.
other herbs. I started growing the cannabis, and then I had leftover soil, and I was like, "What else can I grow?" So some tomatoes, some garlic. I'll put a picture up later and show you.
Oh yeah, no, brilliant. I look forward. I seen your seedlings when they were very young. Yeah, I was really blown away by the fact that like it must be empowering as a patient to be able to grow something and be able to alleviate some of the symptoms
Yeah.
yourself. Like that must be really empowering to know you can do that without the need of all these pharmacies and the gamma radiation.
Oh yeah, I know. All you need is some sun and some water, like really.
Yeah, yeah, and you don't need 16,000 a year.
No, no. The seeds cost me €7 each.
Seven
So
euro each, yeah.
yeah,
And I'd imagine then once, like I know myself, herbal science, like once you get a little plant going, you'd actually never have to put your hand in your pocket again. You could always be cutting clones, getting more
yeah.
seeds, and like, geez, the possibilities are endless then once you get into it. As I say, like you'll just be an avid gardener at
I
the end of
know.
this.
Yeah.
That's great. And what does the future hold for you at the moment? What are your plans? I know you're writing to the ministers and stuff to try to get clarification as to bringing medication home.
Yeah,
Is that your
I'm
plan?
trying to find out about traveling with it at the moment. The Department of Health, they are doing another pickup for people at home.
That's
They're
right.
getting
Yeah,
from the Transvaal, but I have my 20 grams now, so I'm going to wait. I'll give it another couple of days and see if they get back to me. If not, I'll email them again.
yeah.
But
But
and
that
then
was a
give it.
private courier that they used that time for the Transvaal. Apparently,
It
like
was
DPD
DHL, I
there.
think.
Yeah, DHL. Yeah, so just
Yeah,
normal private courier, like. But
yeah,
it's
yeah,
mad though that there's no communication from, say, your local pharmacy to their pharmacy because, like, the people in Transvaal, like, they are pharmacists. They
yeah,
are, so why isn't there this communication there between our pharmacists and theirs?
yeah. Even if it was, well, there's no framework there actually at the moment for the pharmacist to dispense it in Ireland.
Yeah, that's right.
Nothing at
But
all. Yeah,
but DHL can deliver it to you, but a pharmacist can't.
I
It's,
know.
it's,
Even if they delivered it to the pharmacies, for them to give it out to you would make a bit
yeah.
of a system there. Like,
Yeah, but like, where is the pharmacy? The regulators or the overseers of their industry. Why aren't they setting up courses in order to educate their industry? Because like this is coming. Like cannabis patients, like they're increasing. As you said, there was 32 or 37 of them, but there's going to be more, and the system needs to be there. But there seems to be there's no movement there from the ground within those industries. The
no,
pharmacists aren't saying anything. The GPs, there's very few of them saying anything.
yeah,
Um, it's us. It's the activists. Like we're the people making the noise and trying to push things in a direction in order to benefit people the most.
yeah. And you think it would be doctors, you know?
Yeah, I think a lot of them fair. They have a lot to lose.
Yeah, yeah.
Their medical license.
Yeah, I'm very lucky with my GP. He was so open-minded about it, like from the very start, because he knew like I had no quality of life when I was taking 30 tablets a day. All I was
Yeah.
doing was sleeping. And then I went into him about 3 months into taking cannabis, and I said to him that I was after coming off half the tablet, and he was
Yeah.
just like, "Oh my God, that's amazing!" He's like straight away. He said the first thing is do no harm,
Of
and
course.
that's what he had to uphold his oath. So I was like, brilliant.
Yeah, yeah, that's good that he was able to kind of oversee the fact that you were breaking the law and see what was his oath that, like, oh yeah, these drugs were actually doing more harm and the cannabis is not. So he wasn't going to interdict himself then at that point, which was good. Like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, but what was life like? So when you were on those medications, you were on quite a list of strong painkillers.
Yeah, I was taking tramadol, Lyrica, amitriptyline, what was the other one? Plexia, and I was on patches as well. I had patches for my leg because I had
Okay.
sciatica, patches for my back because my coccyx bone is broken. Um, but it was awful. Like I missed 2 years of college. Well, I missed 2 years going into college. I had to do it all from the couch at home. If it wasn't from the pain, it was from the side effects of the medication because I used to get up in the morning at 8 o'clock, have to go out, have my breakfast, take 10 tablets, and
Jeez.
then half an hour later I'm asleep. So then
Yeah.
I'd wake up at about 12 or 1 o'clock and have to take the same 10 tablets again. So, and then I just fall asleep again. So it was pointless, really. Like,
Yeah, you were just
yeah,
living. You were just existing, and you weren't
that's
really
it.
living. Like
Yeah, it was
where
absolutely horrible.
what was it like then when you first got introduced, I suppose, to cannabis as an alternative?
It was a friend of my husband's in America. He
Yeah,
sent over some vape cartridges. Actually, I have one here. Show you the exact one that I got. They're Kingpen ones, or this one isn't now, but
yeah,
that was the first thing that I ever tried. Um, so he sent it over and I got it. I was still taking all the tablets now at the time. And I tried it. It was actually my first time vaping or smoking cannabis or anything like that. I
okay,
was 34. So yeah, I was only in 2018. So I tried it. I started laughing and I started crying at the same time. And I was like, oh my God, it was the strangest feeling ever. The pain was like not half as bad as it was. It was almost gone. And I was like, I
well,
just couldn't do anything. I was between laughing and crying and trying to tell Jerry that the pain was going away,
yeah,
And he couldn't believe it. He was like, just like that. And I was like, just like that. I was standing up, I was sitting down. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It was
yeah.
just unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm actually getting shivers here now listening to that because I can only imagine all those mixed emotions you were going through at that time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I was able to get up and go for walks, go back into college. And I went into the university then and I told the professor there that I had started coming off the tablets and started using cannabis, thinking, they obviously wouldn't support it, but I had to let him know because he asked
yeah.
me, how come you're better? Did you have surgery or something? And I was like, no, it's cannabis. And he was like, wow, it's amazing. He said he could tell straight away from looking at my face that I wasn't in pain anymore.
hmm Yeah, well,
So,
thanks for being so open because a lot of people would just hide that and not be very open because of the stigma that could be applied. But thankfully,
yeah,
I think I met your lecturer as well that day above, and if that's the same guy you're referring to,
it
and
is.
seemed like a very nice guy and very supportive of yourself and the cause.
Yeah. And he
Yeah,
knew
so
he knew I was getting it illegally, that I didn't have a choice, and he completely supported me. He said, because it was around the time I was going on the radio at 96 FM in Neil Prendeville.
yeah.
And that's why I told him. And he was like, go for it. If anything bad is said, don't worry, we'll deal with it here. So it was after that, then I was kind of like, right, I'm going to start campaigning because if he supports me, you know,
Yeah.
that's all that really mattered. My family, Jerry's family, and the university, that was it really.
And had you been aware of medical cannabis before this then, or was it only then when it was introduced to you by your friend?
No, I'd been aware of Vera Toomey and her campaign as well.
Okay,
And
yeah.
then I was studying at the time. At the time I was doing my master's actually. Yeah. But then I decided I wanted to study it as well.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much the motivation for me going into the herbal science as well.
Really?
I knew I was going to be talking about cannabis and I needed a better foundation in which to speak about it upon. And yeah, herbal science just fitted the bill really for me. But then,
Yeah.
yeah, even within that, then there's a stigma there. Like I had one lecturer who actually said to me, he was like, Martin, you keep doing projects in cannabis. He was like, is this going to look very good in your CV? And I was like, Jermaine, do you not realize what industry I want to work in? Like, I was like,
Yeah.
there's going to be a medical cannabis industry. Oh, well, I don't know. And like, these guys are like, they're the educators. Supposed to be at the forefront of the scholarly kind of area. And
Yeah.
they were still applying a stigma to me, even though I was actually just doing that one thing that you're supposed to encourage in a college in that learning environment is to explore things, ask questions, and don't be afraid to ask questions. There's no
Yeah.
such thing as a stupid question, as something I was always kind of told. Like, really, there isn't, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a big stigma there towards cannabis. But I think with people like yourself coming out and just normalizing it and making it okay for other people to come out and to talk about it, because like yourself, there is many people out there currently using cannabis illegally
Yeah. Yeah.
to treat medical conditions. That is, like I set up the Cork Cannabis Club, a Facebook page ages ago, and yeah, the messages I get in there on a daily basis about people asking about cannabis oil for cancer, cannabis oil for epilepsy, and like there's so many people out there curious and interested, and like doctors aren't entertaining it when they're being talked to from these patients about it.
No, no, and it's very sad because I mean, from the studies that I've read as well, there's so many conditions that can benefit from it, and there are literally three in the Access program.
Just true. Yeah, that's it. And
Mm,
you can't actually get onto it unless you've tried all of the other medications available for those conditions,
yeah.
which, as you just pointed out, like can be quite harmful to people. You know,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
like what has been the worst side effect of cannabis for you?
I don't get any at
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
Yeah,
because the
I
side
don't.
effects are probably benefits. Like you
It
sleep
has to
more,
be the
you eat
benefit for me. Like,
more.
yeah, they're like I don't get any side effects. I'm trying to think. No, I don't. No.
Yeah, you see, like that's kind of unheard of in the medicine world, really, like where a person kind of would benefit like that from a medicine.
Yeah, I feel happier. I've no pain. I know that I'm not going to die from it, even if I take too much. You
Yeah,
know,
that's it. You might
I
just
might
have to
have to
put a
lie
lock in,
down for half an hour or something.
yeah, or put a lock in the cupboard.
Yeah. But that's it. It's like it increased my appetite as well, because
Yeah.
I wouldn't have eaten as much, which is a good thing for me as well for my immune system, and I sleep better. I can get up and get on with things. Now, it doesn't like it's not a cure for chronic pain. I still get up in the morning and I'm in pain, but I know that it can be gone in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm not asleep on the couch for the day like I was when I was taking the opioids.
Yeah, exactly. Can I ask, before this lockdown, when you were going to the clubs to get your cannabis, would you ever hang out there and socialize with the other club members? Were they all patients?
No, they weren't actually. I don't know anybody else there that was a patient.
Okay. And would
Um,
you hang out and socialize a bit with them?
yeah, yeah, the ones that were there were they chat away to you. Like, they were mostly Spanish.
Mostly
There were
Spanish.
some
Okay.
tourists. You see, I'm joined a couple of clubs. Some of the clubs don't allow tourists.
Yeah.
Um, and other ones do. It just depends on sometimes on when you go in. But the people in there were very nice. All the people that worked there would chat away to you, but they knew that I was using it for pain because I was asking them when I got there, what would be the best strain and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And they were really helpful as well.
Brilliant. Yeah. So you didn't have to deal with any kind of shady characters like as you might have back home if you were looking for a bit of weed.
No, no,
Yeah.
none of that. No,
Like I
no.
know at the moment, like you're from up in Mayfield, and on Snapchat at the moment, apparently there's a guy from Mayfield. I'm not naming names, but he's selling cannabis treats and stuff. But alongside of those, he's selling Steds and Viagra and
Mm.
all sorts of other medication. You
Yeah,
know.
that's where the problems come in then. Like when you don't know what you're going to be getting mixed in with your cannabis sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, or who you're meeting when you're going to buy it from them. Like, I'd imagine when you go to the club in Spain, you're never offered cocaine or some other
No,
kind of pills.
no,
You know?
nothing like that. No.
Yeah, so like that's I think what people need to kind of realize is if cannabis was to be legalized and regulated here, not only would patients benefit by getting better access to the higher quality cannabis and at a lower price because of its availability, but then you'd also have the community that would build and look after one another as you've experienced, from the online cannabis community. They reach out and they look out for one another.
Oh,
It's
absolutely. Yeah. At the time at home before I came here, I didn't know anybody that could even get me cannabis when I ran out of the vapes. So it was literally ask around and you take what you get, you know.
yeah,
You've no choice. Some of the times that I got it didn't work at all. And you just have to go and buy more.
yeah. And when you were getting the hair, was it always in the vape form, or were you buying herbal cannabis back in Ireland as well?
Well, just herbal cannabis. I couldn't get the vapes in Ireland. I was getting them sent over from America, but I could only get one at a time.
They would only last so long then. Yeah.
And whenever I ran out, then I just buy
Okay.
herbal cannabis.
And
But
you were
again,
saying there, like some of the times you got the cannabis, then there was no effect. Like you
oh,
wouldn't.
none,
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah.
Which is
So
indicative of the industry out there. Like you don't like at the moment in Alicante, you can go down and you know the strain you're getting and you have an indication as to what's in it.
yeah,
But in Ireland, when you were getting on the black market, you were just hoping that this was going to be like something that was quality and that wasn't going to make you sick,
that was
but
it too. But that's
that
what
it
I was
would
worried
actually
about
give you a
as
pain.
well. Yeah.
Because I don't know if like yeah, 2018 you said you were smoking cannabis since, but going back a couple of years ago, have you ever heard of the fiberglass that was being sprayed on cannabis?
Yeah, I did, to make it look shiny or something,
To
wasn't
make
it?
it look shiny, and you would
Yeah,
have the hard ashes because the ashes would turn to plastic as you were smoking it, and they would stay long and hard. Oh, like,
yeah.
geez, to think of some of the stuff that was put into cannabis over the years, and to think now about what we know and the medical benefits it offers to people, it's just really, it is high time, pardon the pun, that change comes.
Definitely. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Alicia, thanks very much for your time. If there's anything else you wanted to add or say, now would be the time, because I don't want to keep you. I think you might have some plans yourself this evening.
No, the only thing that I want to say is that I don't think the medical cannabis access program is going to work at all in the form that it's in.
Yeah,
I think it's
it should be called
absolutely
the
ridiculous.
medical, like, restricted access program, because
Restricted, yeah. I think the best thing that we can do is just try to have it re-legalized and have
yeah,
a club situation where that anybody that wants it can access it, because so many people are going to be left out if they leave it the way that it is.
yeah, I'm delighted to hear you say that, because I'm 100% with you in that. And anybody out there listening, yeah, I'm encouraging you to get together on a community basis, and just form little grow collectives and stop associating with some of the criminals out there and buying cannabis from these unknown sources. I think it's high time our community just comes together now and supports one another. As you say, little grow collectives, and like, the
Yeah,
government aren't assisting us. So I think we just do what needs to be done. And sure, if they want to adopt policies to match what we're doing, then afterwards, then so be it.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Alicia, thanks very much again for your time.
No
It's been a
bother.
real
Thanks so
pleasure to
much.
sit and chat. Now, once these restrictions drop, I might have to hop on a plane over, and we can chat on the beach or something.
You should do, definitely. Yeah, you've an
Yeah,
invitation to
brilliant.
come over there now whenever you want.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Alicia,
Thanks.
again, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that interview there again with Alicia Maher. And again, Alicia, thanks very much for taking part in that interview. It really means a lot for to have you share your story with the audience out there. So, guys, again, just to remind you, if you want to support the show and support the cannabis community in Ireland, go on to martinsworld.ie, where you'll be able to find the products that we have up there. And again, as I say, very soon you'll be able to pay in Bitcoin. But until then, just get in touch, email, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and we'll be able to arrange payment and delivery of those products to you. So thanks again, guys, very much for your time. This is Martin Condon signing off. Peace.